Welcome, beloved soul. You are safe here. You are seen here. And in this quiet space, heaven has something to whisper to your heart. God is preparing you for a sacred marriage, and the one He has chosen for you may not be the person you expected. You may not see it yet. But everything that's been unfolding in your life has been pointing you gently toward this very moment. A holy intersection of preparation, divine timing, and unexpected love. Sometimes, the ones God chooses for us look nothing like the ones we would have chosen for ourselves. Because God does not choose by outward appearance, by age, by title, or even by shared plans. He chooses by the heart, by calling, by purpose, by the eternal echo He placed within two souls before time began. And right now, heaven is working quietly behind the scenes of your life to guide you toward this person whose presence will feel like a soft breath of peace, a whisper of home, a sacred alignment you didn't know you were waiting for. But first, God is preparing you. Because sacred marriage doesn't begin with another. It begins with the soul He is shaping within you. You see, beloved, before God brings two souls together in covenant, He prepares them in consecration. He refines them in trust. He teaches them how to be whole with Him, so they can walk together without losing the rhythm of His Spirit. And that is what you've been walking through. The stretching, the silence, the longing, the unexpected changes. They were never meant to break you. They were heaven's classroom, training your spirit to recognize the kind of love that doesn't just please your preferences, but fulfills your purpose. Yes, the person God is bringing to you may be someone others might overlook. You might overlook them too if your eyes remain fixed on what once was or what you thought love was supposed to look like. But listen closely, this love isn't built on fantasy. It's rooted in spiritual reality. It's the kind of love that doesn't just hold your hand. It holds your destiny. This person God has chosen for you has walked through a wilderness too. They've cried out to Him in the secret place. They've been misunderstood, set apart, emptied out, just like you. And in that same quiet place where you were made ready, they were being prepared. Not for just anyone, but for you. Heaven knows the precise moment you'll meet again. Or meet for the first time. Not a second too soon, not a moment too late. And until then, He is training your ears to recognize their voice, your heart to welcome their truth, and your soul to embrace their imperfections with the same grace He has extended to you. This will be a love that humbles you. It will draw you closer to God, not pull you away from Him. It will challenge you to grow, not with pressure, but with peace. And even when it surprises you, something within will recognize, this is the one I've been praying for, even if I didn't know how to put it into words. Now, dear one, if this message is already resonating deep within, I invite you to pause and breathe in this sacred truth. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are simply in the hands of a perfect God who knows how to write stories far more beautiful than your fears could imagine. If your spirit is being gently stirred by these words, take a moment to subscribe to this channel so you'll receive more peaceful, God-centered guidance. Leave a comment below with your reflections or share a prayer request. This space is for you. And if this message is touching your heart, and you feel led to help this ministry reach more souls, you are welcome to support this work with a super thanks. Your kindness makes it possible to keep producing messages of peace and purpose for those in need. Now, let's return to the quiet unfolding of this sacred mystery. The reason the person God is leading you toward feels unexpected is because your heart has been trained by old patterns. Perhaps you thought it would be someone from your past. Perhaps you assumed they'd arrive in a certain way, wearing a title, carrying status, or matching a picture you once clung to. But God isn't in the business of fulfilling our fantasies. He fulfills His promises. And sometimes His promises look different than we imagined, because they are better, This person may carry a gentle strength that doesn't show off. They may lead quietly. They may not have all the things this world applauds. But they have the one thing God treasures, a surrendered heart. They may come from a different background, a different culture, a different path. But somehow, your souls will recognize one another because the same Spirit has been shaping you both. You'll see it in their eyes. Not the eyes of infatuation, but the eyes of reverence. They won't try to control you, impress you, or mold you into their image. They'll honor who you are becoming in God. This, beloved, is sacred partnership. Not built on convenience, but covenant. Not rooted in ego, but eternity. And so you are being prepared for something rare, something holy. That's why it's taken time. That's why others had to leave. That's why certain doors had to close. So you would not settle for something that soothed your loneliness but stifled your calling. You were not created to simply be chosen. You were created to be cherished. Not tolerated, but treasured. This person will not be perfect, but they will be present, and their presence will be peaceful. Their love will be honest. And when you walk together, you'll both walk humbly before the Lord, not as idols to each other, but as intercessors. As co-laborers in a holy harvest, greater than you can yet imagine. So take heart. Heaven is not late. And you are not alone. Pause now and ask God to continue preparing your heart for the one He is preparing for you. Even if it surprises you. Even if it stretches your faith. Even if it costs you your comfort. Because on the other side of this preparation, there is a divine appointment written with your name and theirs. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop what God has willed. Before we close, if your heart has been strengthened today, you are warmly invited to subscribe for more gentle Spirit-led messages. Leave a comment with what resonated, or a simple prayer. Let this be a sacred space for you and others. And if the message blessed you, you may offer a super thanks to help keep this light shining for those who are weary, waiting, and longing to hear from God. Your generosity helps this peaceful voice continue. Thank you truly. You are being prepared. You are being kept. And soon, you will see why God said no to what you once wanted, so He could give you someone you never saw coming, but someone He's seen for you since the beginning. Welcome back, dear soul. It's good to be with you again, in the stillness, in the sacred hush of this moment. Let your heart rest. Let your spirit breathe. God is still moving. Heaven is still preparing. And what feels like a delay is not a denial, it is divine. Design. You see, love isn't always loud when it enters. Sometimes it arrives like a soft rain, gently soaking the soil of a heart that has known too much drought. And that is how the person God is bringing to you may appear, quiet, unassuming, unexpected. But don't mistake quiet for weak. And don't confuse unexpected with unworthy. The most sacred things in life are often hidden until the right moment. And this person, this soul God is setting apart for you, is hidden too. Not because they are being kept from you, but because they are being kept for you. You are not waiting in vain. Heaven is never careless with hearts like yours. You are being prepared for a connection that will not entertain your flesh, but awaken your spirit. That's why the road here has been narrow. That's why your heart has felt stretched. God is making room. He's expanding your capacity to love in the way that reflects His own. And when you meet the person Heaven has chosen, whether they walk in slowly or re-enter unexpectedly, you will feel it in your bones. This is different. This is not performance. This is not pretense. This is peace. You won't have to chase them. You won't have to guess. You won't have to pretend to be less than you are just to hold their attention. They will see you through the lens of Christ. They will speak to the deepest part of you, the part that prays when no one's watching, the part that longs to love with intention, the part that doesn't want a show but a sacred bond. This person won't look like everything you imagined, but they'll carry what your soul has always needed, And if you've ever felt too complicated, too sensitive, too deep for others to understand, know this. God is preparing someone whose spirit matches your depth, who won't run from your intensity but will honor it, because they've had to walk through the same spiritual fire. This is not just about romance. It's about restoration. It's about two vessels, broken, mended, poured out, coming together to hold something greater than either could hold alone. This is about mission, calling, purpose, legacy. And for that to work, God must continue the quiet work within you, the pruning, the refining, the reshaping, not to punish you, but to prepare you for the kind of love that doesn't take shortcuts. The kind that kneels before the Lord first, before it dares to make a vow. If these words are drawing something out of you, if you feel your heart stirred with hope and holy curiosity, take a moment to breathe. Let your spirit lean in. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel for more peaceful, God-centered encouragement. Share your thoughts or your prayer request in the comments. You're not alone in this journey. And if this message has blessed you, your super thanks is deeply appreciated. Your kindness helps this channel continue sharing God's peace with those walking through silent seasons, just like you once did. Now let's return to what heaven is saying. God is not just sending you a person. He is sending you a mirror, not of your flaws, but of your faith. Someone who has chosen obedience even when it cost them comfort. Someone who has wrestled with waiting and stayed faithful through it. Someone who knows what it's like to walk with God in the dark and trust that His promises are still true. This person won't idolize you. They'll intercede for you. They won't compete with you. They'll cover you. You will not always agree. You will not always feel perfectly aligned. But you will grow together in grace, in surrender, in love that reflects Christ's heart, sacrificial and sacred. God is not calling you into a relationship that just feels good. He's calling you into one that does good for both your souls and for the lives your union will impact. You may ask, but why is it taking so long? Because God is preparing you to recognize what you didn't even know you needed. He is rewiring your instincts, so you won't run from healthy love simply because it doesn't feel familiar. You're not just waiting for a person. You're waiting to become the person who will protect what God is giving you. You're being formed into someone who knows how to love, not with conditions, but with covenant. So don't despise the process. The quiet, the discomfort, the pruning. It is holy ground. And it's shaping you for sacred union. You'll know it when it comes, not because of butterflies, but because of stillness. You'll feel the presence of God in the room when they speak. You'll sense the alignment of purpose when you pray together. You'll feel the gentle stretch of destiny in their presence, not pressure, but preparation. And perhaps you won't be each other's type, but you'll be God's design. And design always trumps preference, because it was written before either of you knew how to ask for it. This is the kind of love that doesn't just promise to stay, it prays to stay. It fights in the spirit. It covers you in worship. It sees the invisible battles and lifts you anyway. And you, dear one, you're not too much. You're not too late. You're not forgotten. You're being set apart for something uncommon. So hold on. Even if you're weary, even if the silence feels heavy, even if your heart aches with longing, heaven has not overlooked you. Before we come to a close, I invite you once more, gently, humbly, to subscribe for more peaceful words like these. Comment below with your heart's response, and if you feel led, share this video with someone who needs hope today. And if you'd like to support this channel, a super thanks is a beautiful gift that helps us continue pouring into souls who need to hear the voice of God. Thank you deeply. Now let me speak this over you. You are walking into a new season, one marked not by striving, but by surrender. Not by fear, but by faith. Not by loneliness, but by preparation. Heaven is weaving something sacred. It may look unexpected, but when it arrives, your spirit will recognize it, because it was made for you, and you were made for it. God is faithful, and His timing is flawless. Wait well, beloved. Love is coming. Welcome once again, beloved. Let us return to this soft space, where the noise of the world fades and the whisper of heaven can be heard more clearly. You've come this far. You've listened. You've waited. You've believed, even when it hurt. And now, God is bringing you closer to the revelation of why it took so long. Why He said no to that familiar path. Why He shut the doors that once felt so right. Why He allowed certain people to walk away. Because He has always had something sacred in mind. Something He wrote for you before your soul ever touched this earth. A sacred marriage with someone who carries the key to a part of your destiny. Someone you didn't expect, but heaven has long been preparing. Let your heart hear this slowly. You are not missing anything. You are not behind. And your story is not late. God is right on time. And He is still preparing both of you for a love that reflects the way He loves, with depth, with devotion, with divine alignment. This person may not be everything you asked for, but they will be everything you needed to walk into the fullness of who God created you to be. Their presence will stretch you, not because they are difficult, but because God often brings us someone who carries strength in the places we are still growing. You might not speak the same way. You might not even come from the same culture or background. But when you pray together, heaven will respond. When you walk together, the path will clear. When you hold each other in silence, God will still be the loudest voice in the room. And that, beloved, is how you will know this love is not for show. It's not about appearances, platforms, or performance. It's about presence, peace, and a partnership that carries the weight of a kingdom assignment. Because God is not just writing a love story for your comfort. He is writing it for His glory. That's why this love took time. That's why it had to be unexpected, to bypass your assumptions, your patterns, your preferences. You would have chosen someone easier, someone predictable, someone who looked familiar to your past. But God wanted to do a new thing. And new things often come in unfamiliar packaging. Even now, the person He's preparing may be awakening to the thought of you. Not your name, perhaps, but the sense that someone is being woven into their story. Someone whose heart beats for God as fiercely as theirs does. And maybe they don't know how it will happen. Maybe you don't either. But that's the beautiful thing about God. He doesn't require our clarity. He only asks for our trust. If your spirit has been stirred by these words so far, I want to gently invite you, take a deep breath, let your shoulders drop, and rest in this truth. Heaven is not just watching over you, it's moving for you. It's aligning things you cannot yet see. It's preparing hearts, calendars, cities, and moments for that one divine intersection when everything changes. If you've found peace in these words, you're warmly invited to subscribe for more spiritual messages like this. Let us know your reflections or your prayer request in the comments. We read them, we pray over them. And if this message has touched your heart and you'd like to help us continue producing these quiet blessings, you can offer a super thanks. As a spiritual seed, one that helps reach more souls who need to know that God is still writing love stories worth waiting for. Let's return now to this sacred unfolding. What will surprise you most is not the person themselves, but how deeply they will see you. Not just your face, your smile, or your words, but your soul, your silence, your fears, your faith. They will carry a spiritual tenderness toward the parts of you no one else understood. And it will not scare them, it will call them closer. This, beloved, is a reflection of Christ's love. And though they are not perfect, they have been shaped by the same potter. They are clay like you, molded through pressure, fire, and waiting. And when you come together, there will be grace. Not just the kind that forgives, but the kind that builds. You will build altars of prayer. You will build safe places for one another. You will build a legacy that others can rest in. And if trials come, as they always do, you will not fight each other. You will fight together, in prayer, in fasting, in faith, because sacred love is not about agreement every moment. It's about alignment every season. Even when you don't understand each other, you will still choose each other. Not by force, but by faith. And that's what God is cultivating in you now. The kind of faith that loves beyond feelings. The kind of patience that prays instead of pouts. The kind of heart that does not idolize love, but honors it as a gift from the giver. You are not preparing for a wedding. You are being prepared for a marriage. There's a difference. And that difference is what makes this so sacred. So hold your head high, not in pride, but in holy confidence. Your weight is not empty. Your tears were never wasted. And your obedience is about to bear fruit in a way that will leave you in awe of the God who saw you waiting in secret and chose to reward you in love. Before we close, if this message has spoken to your soul, please consider subscribing to continue receiving more peaceful spiritual teachings. If you feel led, leave a comment with your heart's cry or what spoke to you most. And if the Lord has used this to strengthen you, a super thanks is a way to support this channel so that others who are wandering can find the stillness their soul has been longing for. Your support carries real impact. And I'm grateful. So now, listen one last time. You are not too broken to be chosen. You are not too late to be loved. You are not too far to be found. The person God is sending your way may be different than you imagined, but they will be exactly what heaven appointed. And when your hands finally touch, you'll understand why it had to be this way. Because this was never about romance alone. It was about restoration, redemption, and the kind of love that tells the world God is still writing holy stories out of ordinary lives. Wait well. Prepare in peace. And believe not just in love, but in the one who is love himself. Welcome back, beautiful soul. You've journeyed deeply. You've listened with your spirit, not just your ears. And that tells me something precious. You're not just looking for love. You're looking for truth. And truth, when it comes from God, never arrives empty. It carries peace. It carries purpose. It carries preparation. Yes, heaven is still preparing you. Not because you're unworthy of love, but because the kind of love God gives requires a vessel that knows how to hold it. God doesn't waste oil. He doesn't pour his best into cups full of holes. So if you felt emptied, stretched, even delayed, he is simply sealing what was once leaking. You are becoming a sacred vessel. And the one he is preparing for you is becoming the same. This person, this unexpected soul, will not complete you. Only God can do that. But they will complement your soul's purpose. They will draw out what's holy in you. Not with pressure, but with presence. There's a reason your heart has been restless lately. It's because God is moving again. The Spirit is arranging hearts the way a composer arranges music. Every note intentional. Every pause purposeful. Every measure of time sacred. And one day soon, you will hear the rhythm. The melody of a love that sounds nothing like the world's noise. A love that sounds like grace, like truth, like home. You may not meet this person in a way the world calls romantic. You might meet them in ministry, in conversation, in passing, or even in the middle of a crisis, because sometimes heaven sends help wrapped in human skin, and when you see them, you won't say, "I've found what I always wanted." You'll say, "I never knew I needed this, but God did." Beloved, it is not your job to make the person appear. It is not your burden to force timing. God doesn't need your panic. He needs your peace. Because peace is what aligns you with his will. And while the world rushes, you are being called to rest. Wait in worship. Wait with wonder. Wait with the kind of faith that says, "I don't know how, I don't know when, but I do know who. The one who promised is faithful. If your heart is resonating right now, I invite you to gently pause and allow God to speak directly to your waiting. He sees it. He honors it. He is using it. If you feel led, subscribe now to receive more peaceful, Spirit-led messages like this. Leave your reflection or prayer request below. Let this space be holy ground where weary souls connect. And if you'd like to help us continue sharing these sacred messages, you can support the channel with a super thanks. Your love helps this mission continue, so more hearts can rest in God's truth. Now, let's go deeper. Sometimes, the unexpected person is someone who once walked away, someone who wasn't ready, someone who had to grow apart from you before God could bring them back with a new spirit. Or they might be someone completely new, someone you never saw coming because you were still looking back. Either way, they will be chosen by God, not by your fears, and your spirit will know. There won't be chaos. There won't be confusion. There won't be compromise. Instead, there will be clarity. Not the kind that makes sense to your logic, but the kind that settles your soul. They may not look like your list, but they'll look like God's design. And that's the list that matters most. They will know how to pray. They will know how to pause. They will know how to see you with spiritual eyes, eyes that don't just notice your beauty, but honor your calling. And that calling is why the waiting has been so intense. God is not just giving you love. He is giving you legacy. This union will birth things in the spirit, ministries, revelations, healings, breakthroughs, not just for you, but for those you are called to reach together. So he's not just protecting your heart. He's protecting your assignment, and he won't let anything come between you and the purpose he placed in you, even if that means saying, not yet, to something you desperately want. He loves you too much to let you settle. He treasures you too deeply to rush the masterpiece. So take heart. He's not late, he's exact. And his hand is still writing. The more you rest in him, the more clearly you'll hear when he says, now, go. That's the one I've prepared. Before we close, if this message has brought you peace, you're invited to subscribe for more soul-deep words like this. Let your voice be heard in the comments, whether a whisper of prayer or a cry for strength. And if this message has blessed you and you feel led, a super thanks is a beautiful way to sow into this peaceful space. Every offering helps keep these sacred messages flowing to the ones who need them most. Now breathe in this truth. Heaven is not withholding. Heaven is protecting. Heaven is aligning. And soon, when you least expect it, love will come. Not to rescue you, but to recognize you. You'll look into their eyes and something eternal will awaken. Not a fairy tale, but a faith story. The kind of love that doesn't sparkle in the world's spotlight, but glows in the quiet, faithful presence of God. And when you walk together, you won't just build a life. You'll build a legacy that points every watching soul back to the one who brought you together. Wait well. Trust deeply. And know this, even now, heaven is still preparing what your heart was born to receive. Welcome once more, dear soul. We've walked slowly and quietly together through the unfolding of a love not built on fantasy, but rooted in faith. Now as heaven brings us deeper into this sacred preparation, may your heart feel safe, your spirit feel heard, and your hope begin to rise again. Yes, heaven is still preparing you, because what God is building between you and this person is not ordinary love, it is divine. It is eternal in weight. Even if it arrives in quiet earthly form, you may feel unsure, even now. Am I ready for this? But I want you to hear something clearly, not from me, but from the Father's heart to yours. You are not being rushed. You are being readied. Everything you've endured, the heartbreaks, the silences, the refining fire, none of it was wasted. It has made room for something that will not shake when storms come. It has made space for someone who will not flee when your soul grows tender and exposed. This person, the one God is bringing, or bringing back, will carry a spirit of gentleness. Not weakness, but strength that refuses to harm. They will not speak to your ego. They will speak to your essence. They will not simply want to be with you. They will want to walk with you. Through joy, through growth, through calling, through the quiet days and the holy struggles. They may look different than you imagined. Their past may not align with what you pictured, but their spirit will be clothed in peace. And when your heart leans into theirs, you will not hear noise. You will hear God. The unexpected nature of this love is not a mistake. It's a signature, God's signature. His way of saying, I knew what your soul would need long before your eyes were open to it. And in that moment, all your confusion will be replaced with clarity. Not worldly clarity, but spiritual knowing. There are parts of you right now still healing, still wondering, still afraid to trust. That's okay. God does not rush hearts. He tends to them. And He's tending to you. If these words are meeting you in your sacred season, I invite you breathe slowly. Allow your soul to rest here for a moment, in the comfort of knowing you are not missing what God has written. If you feel led, subscribe for more peaceful, spirit-filled guidance. Let your thoughts or prayer requests rest in the comments. This is holy ground, and you are not alone. And if this message has touched your soul deeply, you may offer a super thanks to help this channel continue. Your seed of kindness helps reach hearts who have no idea that love like this still exists. Now return with me to the quiet truth. Love is not something you chase. It's something you are called into. And God doesn't call where He hasn't already made a way. There is someone, yes, someone who is being formed even now with you in mind. Not a perfect person, but a praying person, a healing person, a humble person. They have walked through their own wilderness. They've questioned if God was still writing love stories. They've had to let go of old patterns, old wounds, old versions of themselves, just like you have. And in the divine rhythm of preparation, their life is moving quietly toward yours. Heaven has not forgotten either of you. God is just making sure you both know how to walk in step with Him before you walk in step with each other. Because this time, this sacred love, will not be like the last. You won't have to chase it. You won't have to beg it to stay. You won't have to shrink to be accepted. You will be seen. You will be respected. You will be covered in prayer and peace. And your love will be an act of worship. Every conversation, every decision, every prayer you share will become a flame, burning not just between you, but before the Lord. You'll find yourselves saying things like, how can we honor God in this? How can we protect this gift He's given? How can we grow in Him, not just with each other? And when disagreements come, as they always do, you will not destroy each other. You will return to the altar, together, because when two people are built on Christ, nothing can shake the foundation. So if the person He's preparing for you feels unexpected, don't panic. Lean in. Ask God to show you what He sees. Ask for discernment beyond attraction. Ask for peace beyond performance. Because what God gives, He sustains. And when you enter this next season, you will not do it alone. You'll walk beside someone whose faith echoes your own, whose healing story runs parallel to yours, and whose love feels like it was whispered by heaven itself. Before we close this chapter together, I gently invite you once more, if this message has blessed your heart, subscribe to continue receiving these peaceful, spirit-led teachings. Leave a comment with what resonated, or simply write, I'm waiting, Lord. And if you wish to help this sacred mission grow, a super thanks is your way of sowing into the peace someone else will need next. Every kind seed matters, and I thank you. Let me leave you with this. You will not miss what God has chosen. You will not be overlooked by the one who sees in the Spirit. You will not be forgotten. You are being refined for a sacred union that glorifies God. And when the day comes, perhaps quietly, perhaps unexpectedly, you will know. This is the one. Not because they match a list, but because they mirror the love you've been learning to give. And together, you'll carry something so holy, so healing, so heaven-sent, that others will look at your story and say, "Surely, this was the Lord's doing. Wait in faith. Love is near. And heaven is still preparing every detail." Welcome back, dear soul. You've walked with me through the quiet unfolding of something holy. And now we arrive at the closing steps of this sacred message. But let me tell you gently, this is not an end. It's a beginning, a soft sunrise over the path God has laid before you. A whisper of hope for the love He is still preparing. And yes, heaven is still at work, still shaping, still aligning, still bringing two hearts into harmony with His divine timing. The sacred marriage you've been sensing. It isn't just a dream or a distant prayer. It's a promise that God has not forgotten. He has not overlooked your longing. He has not discarded your tears. He has collected every silent prayer and woven them into the very thread that now forms the garment of your future. That future includes someone, yes, someone who may not fit the world's idea of perfect, but who fits the holy design God wrote for your soul. This unexpected person. They will not arrive with flashing signs or grand entrances. They will come quietly, prayerfully, truthfully. They will honor God before they ever try to pursue you. They will come not to impress, but to intercede. And you will not feel frantic in their presence. You will feel still, seen, safe. Because when God sends someone, they don't stir your anxiety. They settle your soul. And that peace, that deep, still peace, is what you will recognize. Not because you are desperate to be loved, but because you have learned to be loved by God first. The work He's done in your life, the letting go, the long waiting, the quiet trust, has created a sacred space for something real to enter. Didn't waste your time, you invested it. And the harvest is on the way. If this message is speaking into the deepest part of your heart, take a slow breath with me now. Let this moment be a marker, a signpost in your soul that says, "I waited. Well, I trusted God, and He is faithful." If this entire series has been a comfort to you, I humbly invite you, subscribe to this space where truth speaks gently. Leave a comment with your final reflections, or simply say, "I'm ready, Lord." And if these messages have blessed your journey and you feel led to give, a super thanks is a powerful way to keep this peace flowing to more waiting hearts. Your kindness becomes a light in someone else's dark season. Thank you for being part of that. Now, before we close, I want to leave you with one final word. Prepare not just your outer life, but your inner altar. When this person comes, they will not be impressed by your possessions, your social status, or your eloquence. They will be drawn to the fragrance of your worship. They will feel at home in the presence you carry. They will recognize in you what the world could not see, a soul surrendered. That is what makes this sacred. Not the beauty of the pairing, but the holiness of the purpose. This union will not just hold you together, it will pull others closer to Christ. Your conversations will carry healing. Your love will carry freedom. Your marriage will carry presence. God's presence. Not by your strength, but by your shared surrender. You'll pray together, serve together, grow together, and become living proof that God still ordains love stories that glorify His name. Yes, you will laugh. You will cry. You will build a life that's rooted not in perfection, but in God's protection. You will forgive each other quickly. You will champion each other's callings. And even when challenges arise, you will return to the altar. Every time, together, you will not be each other's God. You will be each other's gardener, tending what God has planted, nurturing the fruit, pruning in love, watering in prayer, trusting the increase to the one who brought you together. And if the enemy tries to whisper doubt, you'll shut him down with worship. Because this time, Your union won't be built on attraction alone, but on assignment, and where there is assignment, there is authority. Your love will carry the fragrance of heaven, the mark of obedience, the sound of grace. And when people ask, how did you two find each other? You'll simply say, God, it was always God. So lift your head, beloved one. Look ahead with wonder, not worry. The time will come, and when it does, you won't need to force it. It will unfold like a promise finally fulfilled. Before we say goodbye, let me remind you once more. Subscribe to this peaceful channel if you want to keep walking together in the Spirit. Comment below and let me know how this journey has spoken to your heart. And if you've been blessed, a super thanks helps keep this channel alive, not for fame, but for the quiet souls searching for light. Your support is sacred, and it is seen. I bless your heart. I bless your waiting. I bless your journey. Heaven is preparing you and them for something far greater than any fairy tale. This is holy. This is true. This is sacred, and it's coming. Walk gently now. Stay close to God, and remember, you are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are chosen for a love that glorifies heaven. Amen. And so it is.